who I am? I'm a dude laying the dude disguised as another dude.
Strength and honor.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Why so serious?
I could crush you like a worm.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Yep.
On YouTube. Up on Facebook.
Do or do not. There is no try.
All right, hey everyone, and welcome to Christian Warrior Talk Live on the Patriot Crusader Mission channel. We got people live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. Let us know that you can hear us, and let us know where you're watching from. If you're on Facebook and you could jump over to YouTube, if it wouldn't be too much for you, that would really help us out with our monetization efforts over there.
I just dropped the link over to the video on YouTube, so it should be easy peasy for you if you are able to switch over.
Awesome. So just waiting for a few more people to get on here before we kick off the show. I hope you guys had a great weekend.
Thank you, Brandy.
And here just fine, great. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope that the coming inauguration and, if you're in the war zone, aka DC right now, where we have 30,000 troops in Washington, D.C. right now to protect against no one who's probably even going to be there.
Yeah.
So, again, we're going to talk a bit about that. We're going to talk about the coming inauguration. We're going to talk about the challenges that we have coming our way with this administration, particularly being Christian conservatives. And I believe we're going to be the white Christian nationalists, a.k.a. white patriotic guys who love Jesus, are going to be the number one target of this administration. Not Islamic terrorism, not anything else. That's who they're coming after. They've already said it. They're already showing it. They use the Capitol as the reason why they're going to do it. And it's a dangerous world that we're living in now. So, we got to get smart. We got to be, like I said, we got to be smart. We got to be disciplined, and we got to do the right thing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And without further ado, I'm going to try something totally different. Here we go. Let's see how it goes. With the sound. Awesome. All right, so that's how we're going to start our show now. I mean, that's a big deal for us. Like I said, I'm a knuckle dragging, door kicking caveman, and now I've got I'm going to be queuing stuff and doing so. Hey, Corey from Connecticut. God bless you being in Connecticut, one of the most beautiful states out there, but very challenging politically.
Trapped.
Yes.
Surrounded.
With some things going on. So let's get into it.
You're all fired up.
Yeah. So I just watched Tucker Carlson's opening 20-minute monologue twice. And for those of you who watch this channel, everything that he said should not be a surprise to you. We've been saying it's coming and that is what the future holds for us for a very long time. But to hear him say it and to say it so clearly, as a second voice saying that, just means that I think we're in for a rough haul. Everything from them making, body armor illegal to own,
Yeah.
to getting a national license to own ammo, to all kinds of different things. So
I think so. They likely would try to justify the body armor and the helmet bans under the active shooter umbrella, don't you think? Because there have been multiple active shooters who've worn that, and it then makes it harder to neutralize that threat. And so
I don't know how many kids.
the same way that they're trying to ban firearms because of a handful of active shooters, they'll probably lumping that kind of body armor type.
I'm sure they're going to try to do that, but overwhelmingly, I mean, how many companies out there make body armor backpacks for kids?
Right. Obviously, it's
now
expanded.
that would be illegal if this passed. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's Dems going out of their way to make everything to tell you how to live. Right? I mean, that's all you see. That's all the other side wants to do, is to take away your ability to defend yourself or do all the things that, you need to do to protect your family. And it's again, it's sad. We knew this was coming. That's why we didn't want, why we fought so hard for President Donald Trump to stay in office. But, I still see these, I'm going to call them ridiculous now. Maybe on Thursday morning, I'll, or Wednesday night or Thursday morning, I'll be getting on here and say, wow, all you crazy conspiracy theorists who are saying that, all this, the swearing in of 2,000 U.S. National Guardsmen as U.S. Marshals is for them to arrest all the Congress.
Jeez, is that the?
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's gotten to the point where all these stories that I get shared with me 1,000 times a day, they're patriot porn. That's literally what they are. They're patriot porn. They are fantasy out of the whatever, and they make us all look stupid.
Do you even
and if
want to
they
get
are
into
true,
the one that you got into the conversation with yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just got into one with a friend of mine who's a really smart guy, fellow believer, who thinks that the cop who shot the Air Force veteran female, the unarmed Air Force veteran female, purposefully shot her in the throat as a satanic blood sacrifice to whatever. And I'm just like, dude, have you ever shot somebody coming through a window? Like, I don't think these guys are like sniper ninjas. Right, they're cops. They probably shoot twice a year.
Even if it was intentionally in the neck.
It's
satanic sacrifice. I mean, you never know, but come on.
Right. So again, this is the stuff that we're constantly battling and trying to be the voice of reason out there. And I agree ideologically. I want everything they're saying to be true and for justice to come down and for the good guys to win and for, us to all track to Jesus and everything be great. But unfortunately, common sense dictates that a lot of this is just garbage. I mean, how many times can they promise something that doesn't come true?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to get into that on Wednesday with Ken Graves on our Biblical Life Support on 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. I'm going to get into him this weekend with all these false prophets and prophetesses.
That's going to be a really interesting conversation,
and how much harm they do to the faith by going out there and, and judging by Facebook, right, and judging by YouTube, there is no shortage of prophets in 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, you get like one a generation in the Old Testament. Well, let me tell you, in 2021, there are prophets dropping from like every other day.
Kind of lends you to think that there's probably a false one scattered around there.
Maybe.
One or two.
Maybe a couple thousand.
Yeah, I mean, you have the lawyers and such who are saying things that didn't come true. And then you have the next level, which are the people who are saying they're speaking on behalf of God, which is like a whole other kind of promise that obviously kind of suckers Christians who want to truly believe that, God speaks to these certain people.
I am not going to bet against God. Like, no, there's nothing I'm betting right now, right? I'm hoping and praying he pulls off a miracle and the whole world sees that he pulls off a miracle. And maybe all this patriot porn is true. And we're in a different world on Thursday and we will I will live on my knees for 6 months straight praying you know, that if that happens. I'll crawl through glass for that to happen, all right? You know, but I just don't...
The one interesting thing, though, that I caught there, you know, is we just put God on our man-made timeline of January 20th, you know, so the miracle could still happen at some point.
It can happen anytime. I'm just saying
know.
that, you know, whatever, that if all this Patriot porn and SEAL Team 6 doing and Delta Force doing raids in Germany, and gunfights, and, you know, I've heard Obama was arrested 100 times and just crazy stuff. Like, you think if Obama was in jail, the whole world would know in an instant?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You just look stupid. And you make us all look stupid.
Yeah. That's
like,
the unfortunate side effect of the whole thing, for
you know,
sure.
So now, even when something credible comes out, and this is done by the left, they literally throw the most preposterous things out there, and they'll say it in a way, and all the righties will be like, all the pages will be like, oh my God, let me show you, this is coming. I have a friend who's got a maximum TS top secret squirrel clearance, but he's telling me, knowing that I'm going to put it out on the internet tomorrow. You know, and it's just, come on, man.
Oh, man.
You know, back when I used to watch the NFL before I gave up sports, they had, you know, a segment called Come On, Man, where somebody does something really stupid that they should know better on the football field. Well, every Patriot out there sharing this garbage should be like, come on, man. Like, come on. You know it's not true.
Yeah.
Like, if it's something that you're going to be like, hey, prepare for this. It's not 99.99999. It's not true, but you should be ready for this. And everyone who watches this show should be ready anyways. Right? Like, we all say, like, there is a high probability that there will be what we're going to call tribal violence now, which is left versus right, right versus left, white versus black, black versus white, right? Violence for the foreseeable future, and that you should be prepared. You should sterilize your car unless you're in a safe area, and you should try to be a gray man. What?
Nothing is higher than secret squirrel clearance.
Nothing is higher, Salty Sam, than secret squirrel clearance. And everybody's sister's brother's cousin knows somebody who's got that clearance, and they're violating that clearance, putting it out every day, like 10 times a day. Like, it wouldn't be hard to trace that person to that person. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely. I mean, we traced Jim Comey's leak, right?
Yeah.
We can trace Jim Comey's leak.
Well, I mean, obviously,
come on.
It's not even worth going down that pretend rabbit hole.
Yes, Corey Anderson, I agree that during times of persecution, the Spirit will be poured out over all of us, not pulled out, poured out all over us. And that, you know, revival, you know, under persecution, you know, Christianity has thrived in the past. Absolutely thrived in the past. The more people are oppressed, the more they turn to God.
Yeah.
But, you know, Tucker had a really good point tonight, is that they are purposefully causing radicalization of white America.
Yeah, because then it will rationalize them.
It'll rationalize them taking
actions against us.
away.
Yeah. And so that kind of the poking the bear constantly in talking about white males as being this extreme violence prone people and all of that, and naming them as such. Just kind of driving you to being like, well, I wasn't. It's the same way on a much smaller scale of like, it was like, why are you grumpy? Like, I wasn't grumpy, but now that you said I am,
right? I
am.
Well,
so
I mean, we went
the national level.
We went 8 years where we couldn't say radical Islamic terrorism, right? Now they've already started the white Christian national movement, and they are already a terrorist group, and you know. Everybody. Are
they lumping women in with that as well? I mean, or are they just really targeting the white men?
Well, they typically target just the men and then your accessory. I mean, but historically, the women haven't, like, even the wife of the nightclub shooting, active shooter, the gay nightclub shooter in Orlando. Was it Orlando?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, she drove him there, dropped him off. Obviously aided and abetted, knew what he was doing.
Yeah, total accessory.
And she didn't get charged. But again, different rules. We are, like, and again,
we're white Christian. We have several of the factors.
You know, being like I was on a board today, and because it's Martin Luther King Day, who I think he was a great man, and I think that he had the answer to solving a lot of violence, and I hope that his tactics would work today. I don't know. With a dishonest media, would it work today? I don't know.
Yeah, because they won't show.
They won't show, and they'll censor
necessary
everybody.
to
The
show.
fact that they can censor anything really just I mean, I don't know if that would work anymore, right? So again, it's.
And I think that's not to say, so what's the Christian to do? And if they feel called to kind of going into any of these events or anything like that and kind of creating those, you see the prayer marches and people doing prayer circles around protests and stuff and just trying to bring God into all of these events. Even if it's not going to be covered by the media, you should still do that if you feel moved to do that. I mean, I think there's power in those actions.
So here's what we need to do. I'm going to get tactical here for a moment. In order to keep the peace, in order to prevent people from going to jail wrongfully, in order to lower the temperature in these rooms, here is what I am asking all my listeners to do for your own family. All right. 1, don't say anything more opinionated on Facebook in your post. All you're doing is giving the FBI or whoever is going to do it, there's just grading you on score. Like literally, they've got a threat probability chart. The more that you say this or that, and they can group you on there. So go silent, go gray. Make yourself a harder target to find.
Babies and puppies. That's what I'm telling you guys. That's all you want to post.
You can still share articles and you can still share things, but you got to be really careful with your language. Or else you're going to be deplatformed and everything that you could say, and they're going to take away our rights to communication. And I can't believe a year ago, I didn't think that we'd be doing this because I thought we would have at least 4 more years of freedom where we could have actually reset. But don't count on any of the freedoms that you had in the past. If you remember, the Obama administration spied on the Trump team during the election.
Right.
If they're willing to do that to them, the most high profile, one of the wealthiest men in the world with all that power, what are they going to do to you, John Doe, in the middle of nowhere? They're going to know everything you ever said and everything you ever did. Right? So again, the thing right now is to go gray.
I mean, obviously it's easier with somewhat more motivation to target a single person who has the potential to become the leader of the country versus Joe Schmo in the middle of Alabama. Do they have the resources? And I mean,
social media will give them those resources.
Okay, but even though social media has the ability to kind of capture all of that, the resources within the FBI to sort that all, catalog, however they need to do it to kind of really keep track of every single person out there who might be
There's not all that many people, right? I mean, if you thought the whole world felt like us, then maybe there'd be a lot like that. But I don't think it's all that many people, and I think they're going to work their way down the list. Okay. Right? Anybody who's a Proud Boy is now considered a terrorist.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, literally, I just watched a National Guard officer or NCO, I don't know what his rank, briefing his, Puerto Rican National Guard members, that their enemy that they were going to be facing was white nationalists, white supremacists, Proud Boys, whose leader is a black guy. So
semantics.
Again, and Salty Sam's 100% right. They have to create the enemy they need, 100%. Right now you're seeing 30,000 troops or 26,000 or whatever the number was in D.C. And you're seeing it in Columbus, Ohio, and you're seeing it in all these capitals. That's all to show the left, which is half the population or slightly more than half the population, that we are that much of a threat that they had to activate tanks and Humvees and all this stuff. So when they want to go after us and persecute us, that's what they're going to do. Well, they already seized that ground and showed them how much of a threat it was.
Well, so it reinforces for the left that, yes, we are the troublemakers the violent troublemakers that they think that we are, but also as a message to us, to the right, to say, we can come get you. We have power in all of your states. That was Tucker's point as far as why they call people from every state.
That, but I really think it's like, if we were in Texas or like when we moved to Tennessee or wherever we go, we're going to be one person in the sea of red.
Did you just say Texas?
I'm just saying, using Texas.
John Boyle, we're not moving to Texas.
We're going to Tennessee if I have my way. But if we were in a sea of red, we're one dot in a sea of red. For homie here in Connecticut, you're one red dot in a sea of blue. How hard is it going to be for them to identify you? Right? And then if you happen to be in a state or an area that's had a horrific incident in the past, they're going to have heightened sensitivities to it. The red flag laws are going to be even more tight, and they're going to dial in on you.
Yeah, so dealing with Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook, anybody in Connecticut can be gotten now if they want to go out and snatch you up.
Sure.
And so, no, Rambo, I'm not. He's on here. I knew that he was on. Hey, John Boyle, there's no way. We're looking in Tennessee, man. I need some mountains. I need my place to, I don't want a lot of people around me. So, and then Cheshire. I'm going to just say that. You're going to have to tell me how you want me to say that. But within that information, there is some truth and fact. They want to spread socialism, critical race theory, legalizing abortion, banning conservative values all over the world. It's no secret. I think you can say all those things, but there's a lot of inflammation. Like, today I didn't intend to come on and talk about what I saw when I watched Tucker tonight. I intended to talk about, trying to get social media attentions down. Right, and I'm not telling you to compromise your beliefs. I'm just saying talking and arguing with Democrats on Facebook is doing nothing but inflaming tensions. They want to rub it in your face right now. You're not going to change everything because they just won an election. They've been validated. You're evil. You're stupid. You're a racist. You're everything else, right? You are the lowest and the dumbest of the dumb. There is no point in exchanging with them. Now, you can get in your own groups and fortify your beliefs and grow your knowledge system and have discussions, and we can talk about how it's ridiculous to say that Barack Obama was snatched in a SEAL Team 6 raid, or whatever, and how preposterous that is. Or talk about things that matter, like your relationship with Jesus, which is what I planned on talking more about tonight than this, but I was so darn upset. And it just validated everything we're doing, and fleeing, blue states. And I know a lot of you can't do that. I know a lot of you won't do that. And a lot of you shouldn't do that, right? But, for me, I can't compromise anymore. I got to go and live as free as I can until the end of my days, until they come for us all, or until there's a new independent country, or it swings back the other way. But I'm going to work for it every day in my new community. Yeah. Like, we all were asleep at the wheel. I'm not on my education board.
Yeah.
You're not on the education board. Right. I've never run for anything in office. I've never, I've gone and I spoke out at committee meetings, for the Second Amendment and for other issues. But, most of us just want to live our life.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So now it's getting around like-minded individuals, plugging in with your churches and people who share your values, and saying no further, not 1 inch.
Yeah. And I think, and we've talked about this on other episodes, and you talked about it with Ken, and kind of, I think people have to figure out personally kind of where do they fall within your way of looking at this on kind of consolidating and still doing everything kind of for God, and trying to solidify in that way, and then kind of spreading it out, versus the people who dive straight into those blue communities or those really hard communities that don't have Jesus, and saying, here I am. I know that I'm going to be persecuted for who and what I am, but I'm doing this because I was called to.
I think he's going to call the people to do that. I think there is a legitimate need for both. Like, I used to get so upset as an atheist, and as I'm still get upset that we send too many missionaries off to foreign countries when America here is we spent all of our talent in third world countries where we can blackmail people for water and food instead of fighting the ideological battle here. Here, let me dig you a well, and here's Jesus, right? Instead of slugging it out here and going toe-to-toe with them. And now they have taken over our entire country because we did that. Because we didn't fight the battles here in our schools. We didn't fight for all the grounds, here. We went off to places that we could blackmail and use as gateways, which is a very effective tactic.
This is a tangent. Are any of those places where missionaries go places where they are getting persecuted in a much more violent way for being Christian? And so therefore those people converting to Christian, it's not just, okay, I got free water. I'm doing this with the potential now that I will be killed for that belief. There
is a need everywhere, but America has done more good than any other nation on this earth, period. Right? And that was while America was under Judeo-Christian law with a covenant that George Washington entered us into. Right? We're the first nation to seek out God. God chose Israel. We saw our founding fathers sought out God and prayed the same prayer that the Israelis did to bring in all the blessings and all the curses if we failed.
Yeah, I think Ken said it was Deuteronomy 28, right?
Yeah.
And I just read that in the Bible, and if we are in the curse
of madness
if we are in the curse section, holy smokes, guys, buckle up.
Well, that's exactly what we're in.
Yeah,
look what happened to the Jews when they broke.
Yeah.
Right? The Jews were scattered throughout the world. They did not have Israel anymore. Right? They went through the concentration camps. They literally, because of the Old Testament and all the things that they did, I would say that these countries who hated the Jews, the Amorites and the Hittites and all the ites out there. I'm sorry I don't have them all. But, Israel did go in there and commit genocide thousands of years ago.
Right.
But they committed. So I understand why they have animosity towards them. Right? I could understand why they might have some people. That would be like us hating Germany right now. That was only 70-something years ago or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So again, here we're talking thousands of years ago versus Germany right now. And it's just, again, I don't know, I get a little sidetracked there. But, I'm just saying that we've expended and took our eye off the ball because we never thought we could lose America. We never thought we'd lose freedom of religion here. But COVID-19 shows we did. We never thought we could lose freedom of speech here. Twitter, Facebook, Parler, we have. So now, I don't know if it's too late, but the eternal optimist in me says it's not. And yes, we are, waiting to be called home in the rapture.
Yeah.
We don't know if the rapture's coming by the end of this program or in 10 years or 1,000 years. So here's Monica J. I'm on MDI. Medical disability, I assume. I attend Calvary in Orrington. Love Ken, considering to move somewhere conservative. Not sure it's God's plan or mine. Just trying to listen. Yeah, Monica, if Ken was in Tennessee, we'd already be there, right?
Yeah.
We tried to make it go at Maine, but Maine is one of the hardest places in this country to move into, and we had every door closed on us. Going up there was darn near impossible.
Well, and it's so hard to sort out what's God's plan and what's our plan. What are our desires or lack of desires as far as, canceling an effort. And we're still going back and forth on kind of what should we read into our main move and stuff. Did we pull the plug too soon on what was a trial that we had to go through, or was it a trial because we weren't supposed to be there and all of that thing? So, Monica, I hope you can find some peace with your plan or God's plan.
Yeah, but you lived in Bar Harbor, which is beautiful. And that's our thing. We want to find the last conservative, beautiful place, because what happens? Whenever there's a beautiful place, liberals come in and they ruin it. And we're coming down to we're reinforcements to the people there. They're going to see us coming. They're going to hear my quasi-northern accent and think that I'm one of them, and I'm not. I'm not one of those northern. We're going to come down there and say that and let everyone know. Yeah, I went to Bar Harbor and it was beautiful, but it was so darn liberal it was a turnoff. Again, if I saw one more, in this house we believe, and then it went down the litanies of things they believe. And, so anyways. So what do we got to do, guys? What does it mean to be, well, before I get into the gray man stuff, we'll wrap up with that. I want to get into some of our biblical stuff that we've been doing in our small group, and let me talk about that a little bit right now. So for everybody who's a subscriber to this show, it is free to do the 90-day Crucible Challenge that we're doing, which is it's a Facebook group. It's also run on our Patreon page and soon on our website, but it's free. I'm putting it on there for everyone. And all you got to be is a subscriber on YouTube, which is free. It's a click of a button. All right. And on there, we post workouts that we think you should be doing. You don't have to do our workouts. That's just one part of our four-part process, which is fitness, faith, family, and tactics, basically. They all, those are the things that we are believe that you need to be a complete person going forward in there, as a force multiplier, as a champion of Christ, as a Patriot Crusader in your community, or in your home, in your community, in your church, wherever. And so we do parts of that every day, and some of them are literally, 3 of them are literally every day, which is a workout, which whether you do ours or someone else doesn't matter. It's just being accountable to the group and saying you did something. I do a lot of tactical stuff in there. Right now we're really focusing on on a hand-to-hand boxing system that we put in there, and that's the work I'm putting there. Again, that's just for a place for you to hold yourself accountable. I'm giving you an example. If you don't use ours, I don't care, right? You got something better? Great. It's just, hey, Jay, I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu today for 90 minutes. Great. Awesome. And then we do a daily plan where I go through the YouVersion Bible, and Lauren, we scour that thing for things that we think that really resonate with Christian conservatives who want to live this protector lifestyle. And this, Lauren found this plan. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, it's called Dangerous Prayers, and something Groschel. I can't remember what his first name is. Matt, maybe? Right. He's from one of the big mega churches, which kind of made me hesitate a little bit. But I'm really glad that we did it, because it's a wonderful plan about how most people's prayers are lame, and they don't really do anything to ask God to change us in a meaningful way, and ask God to use us in a meaningful way. And so kind of guiding us on how to pray more meaningfully. So it's each day has been a different topic within that.
So each day we're there, and then we comment and we talk about it on the Facebook page and within the group there. And then on Thursday night at 8:30, we have a small group where we get on there and we talk about, struggles that we all have on there. And it's just a place for fellowship, and it's just a place of support. I mean, people in our group have my phone number, right? If they get in trouble, they can call me, or they're having a dark day or whatever. I mean, we're really a small community. So, and you don't have to be on day one. We've cataloged them all. You can start at day one, right? You don't have to be we're on day 16 or something. No, day 16 right now. And, day 16, you're going to be at day one when you start, and we'll still be able to comment. We'll be notified when you sound off on the challenges you had in the day one plan, right? So one of the things, and I don't know if you guys saw Lauren's video, is she did a really kind of heartrending commentary on the Break Me one. Would you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So a couple days ago, the reading...
Dave Phillips, thanks.
The reading was on the idea of asking God to break you. in order for him to kind of use you more effectively and to kind of get through all of your sin and everything that you have kind of built up, break you down and put you back together as a Christian that is kind of more capable of kind of going out there and fighting for Christ. And I'm not in the best mental space right now. And so for me, I'm feeling broken. And so kind of I did this video on my thought process when reading this, and my first reaction to kind of asking to be broken, saying, well, I already feel broken, so do I have to pray this? And then kind of working through that thought process on feeling broken, and especially if your broken is kind of from sin or just whatever is going on, feeling broken, I believe is different than asking to be broken or accepting being broken by God for a purpose. And the broken that I'm feeling right now, I have no joy. I have no peace in that. And my understanding of the break me or being broken by God, I think that there would be some peace in that or some joy in that, even if it's a trial. But you know that God's hand is in it versus the broken that I'm feeling right now, which is, I think, just a big bump in the road.
Yeah. So, Lauren and I talked a little bit about this. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, and I was looking at some of the comments that some of some of the participants said. And the way I look at when God is praying to break you is, I think it's like I hate to use a medical analogy with you guys, but that's kind of my background. So it's kind of like being born with a crooked leg, or, being born with a slightly broken leg or a broken bone. It isn't, if it doesn't heal right, it is always going to be there. It is always going to be a problem. It's going to be debilitating, and it's going to get worse, right? Well, in order for God to get you straight, he may have to re-break that bone and to align your life. That's maybe hitting rock bottom. It may be hitting all those things. And it may be painful, but when God breaks you, it should be for positive growth. And it shouldn't be something that brings you to him or is utterly what I think it should be. And it should be for your betterment. It shouldn't be like, hey, I'm going to go blast heroin right now to hit rock bottom right. or whatever, right. Or doing like that. But I think that, and some of us haven't been born, we're born imperfect beings with a slight break, right? And there was a person in the plan was a female who, was your typical churchgoer, lived a really good life, a sinner like we're all sinners, but, literally when you think of a good person, that's who they were. And she was afraid she would not pray the prayer. And I said, well, I think people who really mess up all the time, we've hit rock bottom so many times and we've done so many things that being rebroken is nothing to us. It's just, we understand it's part of the process, right? Somebody who's always just had a slight curve in them is terrified of that because they've never experienced the freedom of what they're really holding on to. And I think that that's like a hole that they may have in them. Like when I was an atheist, I described as having a hole in the middle of my soul that I poured everything into before I found God. And I think that they might have some version of that wound in there that is just covered up. And until they, experience the freedom of being broken for him and digging down and clearing out the cellar, right? The basement with all the cobwebs and digging down, identifying your wound. We all have a wound. Everyone has a wound. And sometimes that wound isn't sexual molestation or substance abuse or, you were physically abused, or sometimes it's just you've taken on a belief about yourself that's not true. Yeah. Right? That you're not a good person, that you an agreement with the enemy on something that's not positive about yourself. And that's what I think that prayer, that breaking prayer, is. It's a terrifying prayer. I mean, to ask God to break you is pretty good in that. But it was so great to see your vulnerability in that and how you were exploring that. And hey, thanks, Salty Sam. I appreciate that. So
was that a similar concept to prayers that you use at ORW?
No. So ORW, they do, it's extensive prayer. It takes hours and hours and hours to do what they do. But they basically will put, I think a minimum of 3 guys on you. And then there'll be somebody who's guiding you, and you close your eyes and everyone's praying over you, and they take you back to your earliest memories. And then they walk you through all your sin, all of your wounds, and they try to heal all that. And they do a lot of visualization of, picture that what that sin looks like. What's it look like? And it's always like a black field or something that's burnt or whatever. And then they just pray over you and speak into that. And it's really effective. It's really effective. It's really cool. It's a terrifying prayer that made me lol. It is, yeah. It really is. Just like, you never pray for patience with God. You pray for patience, and holy smokes. I remember as a new Christian, I was like, I'm getting ready to pray, and they're like, Jay, never pray that prayer. Never pray for patience, because
especially patience with your tantruming toddler or something like that. you will get a lot of practice.
Yeah, exactly.
So ORW, for anyone who's new or hasn't heard Jason talk about it, so that's Operation Restored Warrior, and there's a few programs out there across
Mighty
the
Oaks,
country
ORW,
that are designed for veterans, generally PTSD.
Yes, faith-based is the key.
For those who are struggling with PTSD. Jason was not, but went anyways because you were working with people with PTSD, but then obviously you benefited greatly.
Well, I was a broken former atheist who I hadn't been spirit-filled yet. I was a rational Christian, right? So they went there and, healed me from my childhood and my abandonment issues and everything else that I had going on. And it was absolutely amazing. And most of it, I believe, is based off of John Eldridge's stuff that he does with his drop zones or boot camps or whatever they're called.
Do you think that's why a lot of Christians, I don't want to say fail, that sounds like too harsh of a word, but either never really take kind of the next necessary step in a deeper relationship with God, or they fall away completely because they haven't known how to explore and really dig into those wounds to know kind of where behaviors are coming from and sins are coming from, things like that. Do you think that exercise is something that more people should try to do?
I think so, because what it is essentially it's counseling, right? And, but it's Christian counseling, right? And I know a lot of people who've been going to marriage counseling forever to no effect. And if your counseling sucks, go to some faith-based counseling. Get God in the middle of your marriage, and that's how you're going to fix it, right? But I think a lot of people, and you would see this in the church, they wouldn't dig deep to figure out and get the healing where it is. They would just try to pray it away, and maybe that might work, but I think that in order to have that true relationship with God, I think you have to come to Him, with everything you got. That's why when you pray and you repent for your sins and you ask for forgiveness, you got to find them all, right? You can pray, even the ones I don't know, search me out, show me. But that's part of getting closer to Him, is digging down and unrooting the blackness that's in you, the infection that's in your body somewhere, like the porcupine quill that was in Oda Pup. He's a totally different dog now without that. That's a different page
for you guys to follow if you want to know about that. A little plug for 25 Toes.
So anyways, I found that to be really healing, and I thought it did a lot of, I thought it did everyone in the group a lot of good to go through that. There's sometimes you go through these plans and it's like, I feel good about it. That was really challenging.
The plan we're doing now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, still have a couple more days. I have found that it was just, I think that I found it because I was supposed to find it and wanted to go through it. It has matched kind of where we are right now as far as accepting God's plan, even if it wasn't our plan, the reading yesterday was saying, send me. And, talking about how as a pastor, he's blessed, to have many thousands of people coming to him and asking for prayer, and people sending him emails and saying, can you pray for me for this? And he says the common denominator about essentially all of those prayers is that it's asking for God to do something for them. And he's like, that's not a bad thing. That is certainly what we're supposed to, a use of prayer, but it shouldn't be the only thing. We should also be praying for God to use us for him. How can I serve you? And so saying kind of send me where you want me, or do with me what you will to serve you. And I think that I've been able to kind of put that little nugget also in what's going on in our life right now, as far as me kind of clinging to our house and Charlottesville and all of that, and saying, if it's God's plan to use us somewhere else, I just need to say, send me. And the part about the devotional that really, was hard for me to accept was, it was like, don't ask details.
Right.
Just don't insist that God tells you all of the nitty gritty about the plan. Just say, send me and go. And I'm a detailed person, let me tell you. And so not knowing the A, B's, and C's about what's about to happen is really hard for me.
Yeah, and I've said that prayer countless times. Send me. I did it with Trident Shield. I did it as a cop. Mm-hmm. Send me to the people that need to hear me. Mm-hmm. I didn't do it in the SEAL teams because I was an atheist.
Sure, right.
But I'm trying to do that with Patriot Crusader Mission now. Let me say something that that somebody needs to hear. Mm-hmm. And I agree with Joe. We are supposed to be father figures to the fatherless and lead them to God, so he can do his sorting out of that individual. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think, so many men are fatherless, mm-hmm. right? Even if their father was there, their father wasn't there, or he wasn't the spiritual leader of the household. Mm-hmm. And that is the problem that we're seeing. We're living through those repercussions now, mm-hmm. as we are in this secular society now that has walked away from God and turned its back on everything that is biblical. So, absolutely, trust God always. We know how the story ends. That doesn't mean it's not going to suck until we get there, right? And you just have to, when that's put on your plate, even Jesus asks to get out of it.
Yeah.
Ask for God to, if there's some other way, let it be done, but not my will, but yours, right? I'm butchering that quote. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy who's going to quote the Bible front to back, but you get the gist of it. So even the sinless God-man wanted out, wanted another way.
But wasn't going to insist on it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well done, good and faithful servant. We need to focus better on being servants. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm going to read this one from Taken. There's a refining fire that has been smoldering over the past 35 years. The end of a matter is better than its beginning. That's a hard thing to believe at times, but I choose to believe that my God allows me to focus, find all important things handled if you have hope, and have our prayers exercised. Thank you for being a branch for me tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you for that comment.
Yeah, thank you. 35 years, can you get into that? We're going to carry on. I don't know if that's a timeline in your life or if that's some specific thing that I'm not aware of in there, what the numerical importance of that is. Best cure for combat PTSD is God and dogs that need you. Shrinks without similar experience can never help me, but my renewal with God and my kill pound rescue dogs have cured me, and now the happiest I've ever been in my life. William, that is very often the case. I know a lot of guys who use dogs and they take dogs and incorporate that into that for them. I think that a very big important part is what you've done with us here as well, is we really, really, really need to be in communion, or in community.
Yes. You
have to be around, or you have to interact with other Christians and brothers, because, you're going to lose your edge. What do I mean is that you might start backsliding, or you might, you need them there to hold you accountable. And then also to challenge you, right? Because we only get stronger when we're challenged. To raise the bar and say, okay, we've been living here. We need to get here, right? I can't wait till PCM is at the point when we're like, all right, we're going into Detroit. And we're going to go do something, or we're going to go into, the poorest community around us and make a difference in something, right? Or, start a training center like, we talked about doing with Ken for disadvantaged youth and fatherless children, and start that, building those disciples there. And, and that's what this show is supposed to be. Oh, yeah, we talk about politics. Yeah, we talk about prepping. Yeah, we talk about firearms. Yeah, we talk about fighting. But it's all about being a disciple, and who are you working on right now, right? And, one, you should be working on yourself. Yeah. Two, you should be working with somebody who knows, or you should always have a mentor who's elevating you, and then you should always be mentoring people around you, whoever will listen. Hey guys, I'm still waiting for my wine. This is our last bottle, Amy Jean.
We got to go back to the winery.
We got to go back. It's our last bottle, and it's for BYOB. It's our last red. We got plenty of white. I'll send you some white, but that's my last red. But let's see. We got Baldon. We did that. All right, Candace Owens and Lieutenant Colonel Alan West are always talking about fatherless homes being pretty close to. That's 100% the number one indicator is a fatherless home or a broken home. I've interviewed Alan West on this program, and we talked about the same things, right? It's the same fact pattern almost over and over and over again.
Well, you didn't have a father influence. Right? I mean, you had your grandfather, but you didn't have you didn't have a father influence.
And that led me down that path.
You were a punk. You don't need to expand beyond what you want to. But I mean, you don't hide that you were not a great person until you went to the military again, because you didn't have Christ. Then at that point, the military was your redemption versus Jesus. But I mean, you were an example that the father not being in the home can have some negative impacts.
All right, so let's talk about now on for people living behind enemy lines, or people who might be, that maybe traveling to a blue state, and what you need to do to stay off the radar so you can just live your life the way you want to live, right? I already mentioned the first point. You need to be careful about what you're saying on social media. Like literally, you can't say inflammatory things on social media. You can't say horrible things to Mitt Romney and, everyone else out there who's constantly on there. You got to unplug from all that. You can still say your opinions, but you need to be measured, and you need to be shown that you are not a hothead who's going to do.
So type out what you would want to say, and then delete it, and then type out the measured response.
Yeah. So that's the first one. The next one is you need to sterilize your house to a point. You need to sterilize your vehicles without a doubt. If now in this new Biden America, the NRA sticker, proud Iraqi veteran, Afghanistan veteran, that's going to be the one that gets you pulled over. Right? All those things, hey, I'm a cool guy. Look at me. I think about this stuff on your car.
I'm a gun guy.
Yeah, I'm a gun cool guy.
So you think even that goes for like the hunting bumper stickers and stuff too? Because that means now
all that stuff. You want to be a gray man. A gray man is the most dangerous thing in the world, because a gray man is somebody who has the skill set, who is a dangerous person that no one can see. You just blend in with everyone else, right? And it's a hard way to live. Now, some of you are going to be like us. We can't be gray men. We're sitting here waving the flag saying, if you want to live this lifestyle, if you want to be, it's okay for you to be a patriot, if it's okay for you to do all this stuff, we're here to support you doing it. But for those of you who are not like that, if you're in Massachusetts and, you're about to, your life's about to get pretty hard for you. If you're in D.C. or Virginia or, any of these other places where you got Democrat governors and Democratic attorney generals and everything else, they're going to be coming for you. They're going to be looking for any reason to pull, to use their red flags and pull your firearms or your ability to defend your family. So again, I think the smartest thing we can all do is find a red state, a deep red state, and I think we should all move there and then, fortify our positions there and then start fighting for the hearts and minds for everyone around while we have a great place that everyone wants it to be like, and then we just start expanding out.
Yeah.
It's the whole nation building just applied in nation where, if Tennessee's thriving and all these other Republican places are thriving and doing well, and then people are going to be like, what are they doing that's different?
Yeah.
Right? And then we just continue to push out and do that. That's exactly what I do. Type it out, then delete it. Don't post or rethink and pray about what to share. The praying about the share is the most important thing. I know it can be tough in the moment. Listen, I am a sinner, all right? And I mess up all the time on things. And very rare, and I'm trying to remember the last time I chose to sin. Like where I literally said, this is bad, I'm going to do it anyways. A lot of time, like I said, it's the reflexive sin that you do that is the one that gets you in
So when
trouble.
you've engaged in your debates on Facebook and stuff, that's the passion of the moment?
Well,
and
no,
you
I
don't
think
have
there's a time to
say,
passion. So let me talk about like one of the boards that I was on. A friend of mine who's literally one of the nicest guys in the world. I won't say his name. He is he's a weird spiritual guy, to say the least. He was a former Republican. And he's as anti-Trump as the day is long. He would defend a murderer tomorrow as an attorney, a rapist, somebody horrible, but he's all about violating Donald Trump's rights. And someone in his group shared a picture of what this girl is doing. So there's a girl up in D.C. who joined, I don't know, some, dating site, Republican-like dating site. And she's, supposedly hot. And basically she starts talking to all these guys and baiting them and asking if they were at the rally. And they start sending pictures and she's forwarding them all to the FBI. And he's applauding this.
Yeah, and all the women on there were like, woman power, great, good on her.
And it's like you guys, like you're supposed to be the constitutionalist. You're an attorney. Like this is a clear violation. It's entrapment 101 done by a civilian. And, so again, you got to be careful. Go through your friends list.
I didn't even think about the fact that, so what she's doing is potentially illegal as far as...
It's not illegal for her, but it would be illegal for law enforcement.
Okay, if law enforcement did it. Okay.
Right? So, I just had something and you just...
I'm sorry.
Stole it from me. Now you need to fill the air while I think of it.
Anyways, I was grossed out by that thread too because I can't remember. There was a comment about how women were clearly the better sex now.
This is a dude saying that,
and I think
self-depreciating
and a woman said that, and he applauded it. Yeah. It's totally agree. It's
they don't see the irony in what they're doing.
Yeah, well, especially and then it's all labeled as feminism, and we're supposed to say, "Yay!"
Yeah, that's
good.
Yeah. So,
did I just totally blow it for you?
You totally blew it. That was a great salient point, but it's all right. I'll get over it. So be careful. Oh, go through and clean out your friends list, guys. You're gonna have creepers, right? So unless you're a business like we are, where I have to ride the line and accept invitations. I go to their page. I make sure, that look, everyone who was friend request I accept, which I should accept none of them, right? Literally, I should accept none. If you're not my real life friend and I don't know you, I've never, whatever, we haven't been that bridge. I shouldn't have you as a friend on my Facebook account. But I have gone in there and formed some digital friendships with people that are legitimate. And so I go and I look and I scroll through their page and I see what's on there. It would be really easy for somebody to mislead me. So things that I don't ever do. Somebody with next to no friends is a fake account. Somebody who doesn't have a long history is a fake account. And I go through and I see that. I have 11 Facebook friends I cleaned house
and
months
I bet
ago.
you know every one of them personally.
That's good. So a friend of mine was spending so much time arguing with his left-wing friends and trolls, and he's a public person, and I'm just like, dude, clean out, like, cut all your Democrat friends out. You can't be friends. There are some extenuating circumstances, right? But not in social media, right? Meaning that there are some people that I am friends with. They don't weigh in on my board. I don't go to their board. We have nothing, whatever. But like people who are weighing, you cannot be friends with people unless you have deep, like childhood friendship ties with. That is a Democrat right now. I don't believe you can. I think you can be friendly. You can be cordial. You can be a good Christian.
Yeah.
You can be all those things, but you can't trust them. You know, they'll be the first person to report you. They're the ones getting all your posts banned. They're the ones getting you banned from Facebook. Like I've got plenty of friends who've been reported by their friends on Facebook who are sharing their stuff and reporting it. So go through and clean out your list because that's who's snitching on you.
Yeah.
To elevate your profile to where people are looking at it.
Do you want to do a little tangent about the friend requests that you've been getting?
Yeah, so go ahead. You want me?
So he is a good husband, and so he tells me every time that he gets one of these to be like, I didn't solicit this. He gets friend requests pretty regularly, a couple times a week, from
at least
these girls, and seeming innocent enough, kind of what in their profile picture and whatever, and you scroll down and it's like
full XXX porn everywhere.
Yeah, stuff.
And I'm like, how are they not banned?
Yeah, and it's like not hidden. You don't have to accept the friend request to see it.
Like literally, like
right out
there's their thing. Oh, okay, maybe they're a Christian, whatever. Maybe they're scroll. Boom, like seeing everything right there. Yeah. And for somebody with a porn addiction, that's not my problem.
Yeah,
and that could set them down a very dark path. So it's amazing to me that Facebook can find all the conservatives in the world, and Twitter can ban all the conservatives in the world, but they can't get rid of kiddie porn or porn like that.
Yeah.
Or do anything. And
that's okay with their community standards.
Yeah. What's the name that you like?
Is it Joe Schmo?
Joe Schmo. Yeah. So, I mean, and again, going in and making like these names that are not real on Facebook is good. Does Facebook probably know who you are anyways? Yes.
Yeah.
They know with your IP address and all these other things, but still it makes it harder for other people to identify you. And we as a business, our main business, Trident Shield, has experienced cancel culture, and it's hurt us really bad because someone saw some of our footage of us talking about our Christian beliefs. They didn't want to partner with us, and we've been working on that for a long time, and it's hurt us. So again, making sure you have that separation, because financial security is a big part of your security.
Yes.
Right? And then, cutting ties with crazy people. All right? We all have friends who are raging, we'll be kind. We'll call them truth speakers. Right, where they literally say what's on their heart, and it's like a constant vomiting up conspiracy theories and everything else. You got to cut yourself away from them, because they're going to get on lists, and then you're going to be associated with them, and you're going to be on lists. So again, be careful who you associate with, guys. Right, be careful who you associate, and just remember, before you do something on social media, imagine your next employer seeing what you put there. And that is the best way to do it. If you're comfortable with your next employer seeing it when you interview for a job, or you're something that you really want, and imagine if the other side saw that.
And are you, certainly when you're using social media, Twitter, those platforms, would you say that this extends to the newer platforms that are supposed to be more on the conservative bent, or like the parlors and such?
I think you should always be on guard when you're saying anything in a public forum. Right? Unless you're in a room with friends that you know and trust deeply, you should always have a filter on, right? You know, and even, you know, I just, again, I don't, just today's crazy. You know, I mean, we've had our phone taps. I had somebody who I went to corpsman school with on my way to the SEAL teams lose his mind through PTSD or God knows what, and was like sending me all kinds of weird stuff, like tried to reconnect with me. I'm like, hey, you know, I've been looking for this guy. He was funny. He's a funny, good dude. He went off and became a doctor and got arrested at he was a Trumper, and he was trying to support Trump, and he had a bunch of firearms and ammunition in his car, and he was driving somewhere. We were getting ready to do an intervention on him here. I literally, you know, he never showed up to the breakfast because he got taken out.
I forgot that piece of it.
But me and, you know, a local cop and, you know, some other friends who were armed all went to this place to do an intervention on him because I wasn't sure if he was coming to kill me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's how unstable he seemed.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was coming there, and I got local law enforcement. We were all there, and the FBI ended up picking him up. Right? Or Homeland Security or something, because he checked into the Trump Hotel and said, hey, I've got guns in my car. They're illegal in D.C.
Yeah.
Asking them what to do, and they said, just leave them there. They called the police, they arrested him, and it was all this drama. I ended up having to go to court up in D.C. a bunch of times.
because your name was obviously
you know,
came up.
And, you know, my phone clicked for about 3 months doing weird stuff. You know, so again.
And then it's clicked again.
More recently.
Recently
It stopped doing it. But there was like a 2-week period where it was like crazy. Again. And it might have been right after, you know when it happened?
When
it was right around the rally.
This last rally?
The last rally. So, anyways, so cutting ties. Yeah, I mean, again, what do you talk about with Democrat friends?
The weather.
I mean,
I can speak about that personally. The weather and puppies and babies. I just keep driving that point home.
I mean, we were on a call with some family, and I thought we were talking about the weather. And I was just like, so this is what that's like. To not be able to talk about anything as substance because of the judgment that would come from the other side, or, you know, not being able to agree on a single fact.
You know, and to try to share a little tidbit of our side of things and get massive eye rolls and sighs. And
yeah,
we looked at like we're crazy.
Yeah, you know, so again, you know, get yourself around.
Yes.
What?
Sam, they would blame Trump for the bad weather.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They would. They didn't, but yes, they would, you know, because he
ruined the environment.
Yeah, he ruined the environment.
Global warming. You got it.
So are there any questions that you guys want to talk about before I get into the next topic? And you know, I hope your guys' your 90-day crucible is going well. I mean, I'm giving myself this week. I gave myself a C+. I'm really surprised, you know, and I'm really excited about how God made the dieting part for me so easy. Like it's been like he turned a light switch off with me.
Yeah, because I remember. Well, no, I think you gave up dairy too, but it was similar. You did a fast.
Yeah.
And it was more like you gave up certain food groups, and I think you were like 2 days in, and you were like, "I hate this."
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, you know, you've offered multiple times, like on Sunday on a cheat day.
Do you want your cheat day?
And I just haven't taken it.
You said no to the cinnamon swirl pancake,
which is so good. But we are going on vacation next week, so we are going to Gatlinburg to celebrate Lauren's birthday.
Yay. And
we're going and to scout out the location for moving, and I will try some stuff there.
Okay, so you're giving it's not. Yeah, it's a weekend. We're going to be there basically for Saturday.
Yeah, we're driving 6 hours
for going on Friday, coming back Sunday, driving
and
6
going
hours.
to church while we're there. We're scouting a church. I found another, what was it, Melissa? I found someone who sounds very similar. Well, he preaches similar to Ken. He just doesn't have the voice of two mountains grinding.
No.
No one has
And
that voice
Sam,
but Ken.
you can certainly, like, I don't know what injury you have that you're rehabbing, but any of the stuff that he's posting can be modified.
Yeah.
And you obviously have a direct connection over here, so he'll modify it for you if you need help.
Yeah, no problem at all. So it's really about just doing something, right? It's really about just doing something. And the Bible part's really the most important part. You know, we put that part out because I really believe no one takes a fat Christian serious.
Okay.
I just don't believe it. You know, or a lot of people don't anyways.
Why would you say that connection
Because
with...
it shows a lack of self-control, a lack of self-awareness.
Okay. It's interesting.
You know, and this is coming from a guy who's battled, you know, weight for whatever. And I just recently figured out through prayer and through, you know, what my problem was that food was love. But it's really hard for you to be a pastor, you know, trying to preach God's word when it's obviously you're broken because you're 150 pounds overweight. Right? So, I mean, there's a reason why you don't see any CEOs overweight in companies.
Yeah, it certainly would be the exception to the rule.
You know, Ken's voice does sound like thunder, and I love it, man. It's awesome. When I first heard that, and sometimes when he gets so bass, you can't even understand what he's saying. Like it took me like a little bit of listening to get into his vernacular, whatever you want to call it, and his cadence, and being able to figure out, oh, that's what he said, because you're just like, whoa, you got the Mainer accent, two mountains grinding, and it was just pretty cool. So anyways, so there's a couple ways you guys can support us. We really appreciate it. We had a friend of ours who saw Lauren's 5-minute or so talking about the breaking, and he was touched, and he ended up, William, you know, I won't say his last name. Thank you so much for your support on that. You know, just overwhelmingly generous. But, you know, we are, you know, our business is not doing our workplace violence, active shooter business, security consulting business has taken 90% hit on revenue, 90% hit on revenue. And, you know, we're struggling like all you guys are struggling. So the easiest thing for you to do is like, subscribe, share, which really, really helps. You have no idea. We get shadow banned because of everything we just talked about, right? So literally what shadow ban means is that, like, they don't recommend our videos to anyone, right? It's like it dies after you guys watch. And you'll see, like, there's, you know, no matter how much SEOing I do, how much
Can't get approved for ads.
I can't get approved for ads. They watch our stuff and say, nope, you mentioned the election, so now you can't do anything. And I don't want to not talk about what you guys want me to talk about. But if you don't share it, it goes nowhere. All right. And then we have a Patreon account. Lauren, I don't know if you could drop the link in there, but it's you know, where you can literally, you get it for free anyways. It's just if you wanted to do something, you know, it would be great. So Wednesday, we have Ken Graves on. He's already confirmed at 11. We're going to be talking about, you know, the toughest Bible challenge, questions out there. I'm already going to tell you, we're going to be talking about the harm of what these false prophets are doing. We'll also get into some atheism-based questions. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to that. And we'll also tackle probably whatever happened on, you know, Inauguration Day, or what's getting ready to happen on Inauguration Day. Friday, BYOB, we will be in Gatlinburg. We're going to try to do something from a hotel room.
Are we?
Yeah, I'm going to bring a laptop. I'm going to try to rig something. If it doesn't happen, and we're sorry, I'm going to try to do it. It might just be phones, or it might be whatever, but we're going to try to do something, and hopefully we'll be celebrating that night. And then Saturday night, we're going out. If you live in Tennessee, if you live in and around Gatlinburg, we'd love to see you. We'd love to hook up with you. We're not some people who don't want to meet our viewers and our supporters. We'd love to meet, go to church with you, whatever, hang out, have a beer. We're not stick in the mud Christians. For those of you who are stick in the mud Christians, power to you. That's not us. We have fun still.
I'm not even going to bother. Not even going to bother. People can be fun without drinking. I'm just going to throw that out there.
They can.
Throw that out there.
They can.
For all of you dry Christians out there, dry doesn't have to mean dry, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but so anyways, we're going to Gatlinburg. We hope to see you there. Really looking forward to having a good time, even though it's quick. We're not going to have Baby B, so that's going to be awesome. Lauren's going to be able to get crazy.
And sleep. She sleeps wonderfly, but sleep in is going to be great.
Yeah. So, and we're just so excited.
Eat a meal that's warm and hot when it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's good.
And not have to make it.
It's gonna be good.
Lauren is the best cook ever. I mean, there's a reason why I was 300 pounds. So, I mean, for a skinny girl, she can throw down in the kitchen. Just going to say. Even with the gluten-free restrictions that she's got to do, she
never know it.
Never know it. Never know it. So, I mean, we're really excited. I mean, I'm not really, I don't want to say goodbye to them yet. I'm having fun.
Oh, okay.
I love you guys. So, I mean, come on. With COVID, we don't see a lot of people. These are our peeps.
They're our people.
I'm excited for Tennessee. Like, Lauren's still dragging her feet in the mud.
I'm excited for the trip.
I'm excited to move there. I'm excited to see the Smoky Mountains. I did whitewater rafting there once. We all almost died.
So he's been. I've never been. I have a really hard time getting excited for a permanent kind of thing about something that I've never literally stepped foot into.
It's less cold than here and less snow.
What is a warm meal? I feel you. Yeah. And one that hasn't had little grubby hands all through, and yeah, the whole deal.
I just want to drink a beverage that doesn't have her backwash in it.
That too.
Because she wants to try everything she does, and she hasn't learned. The fishing's great. The mountain fishing, the trout fishing and all that stuff is absolutely great. There is a ton of black bear there. They say there's, in the Smoky Mountains, for every mile, there's a black bear. So there's a ton of wildlife. It's a great time. We're really looking forward to it. We're not going to live in Gatlinburg, more than likely proper. It's very touristy, but it's like a hub. You fly into Knoxville, and then we're just going to scout all around. And then we're going to build a Patriot Crusader, I don't want to call it a camp, but an experience where guys can come, learn how to shoot, learn how to fight, and most importantly, work on learn how to disciple others and work on your faith, right? It's all going to be integral. Everything's going to be done through and about faith. We're going to use those other activities as branches out, but that's what we're looking to do anyways. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hoping the Lord blesses us with this, and it's a great destination place for that. Mm-hmm. Right? Flying to Knoxville, we could go out at night and have a good time there, in the city, and there's so good stuff. Sold, sign me up. Well, we got a long way to go before we're ready for that, brother. But, we're really excited about it. And, I really feel God's, like Maine, I forced. I wanted God to want me to go be friends with Ken and everything else with that. This, I feel the hands on my back going to be like, get there. Go.
For me, if the house sells quickly, I'll say God wants us to go.
Yeah. Well, what if he wants us there in the summer instead of the spring? I mean, this is the most, if I was going to do one season, last season
true.
Here, it would be spring.
That is true.
Because literally,
I can qualify that. God can hold on to selling this house and to match us up time-wise with the perfect rental.
Hey, yeah,
we need $4 million.
Yeah,
all right, everyone listening, time to step up. We found the place to live for $4 million.
So, Shesha, it's been on my mind a long time. I really want to do it where we do grappling and MMA and working out and all that stuff, and just really creating a unique environment and community, where we make Christian warriors. That's what we're about. Yeah. And it starts with this program, and where we take it from here is up to you guys. If we stay at 985 subscribers for 10 more years, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. And there are other programs out there, other organizations out there that are doing somewhat similar things in the like come for a weekend and will forge you into like being a better blank, blank, blank. And I think the thing that I've noticed the most is they are not faith-based, and so they're all into like the
even the ones that pretend to be faith-based, they're swearing the whole time in there, and they're doing all this stuff.
So
and
they're
it's more
teaching you to kind of seek the wrong things.
This is not a challenge. Like Patriot Crusader Mission is not going to be a midlife challenge crisis.
Midlife crisis
challenge. Midlife crisis challenge for you. It's not that, hey, I wish I went in the military, so I'm going to this. This is hey, I want to learn some skills so I can protect my family, myself, and my community, and be the best mentor for other Christian warriors out there I can be in my area.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. So if you guys think that's cool, let us know. If it sucks, if it sounds ridiculous, go ahead and laugh at us. It's all good. So that's all we got for you. And I love seeing this. All right. I mean, we have 0 on Facebook and everyone came over to YouTube. So you have no idea that makes a lot of difference. We are well over the halfway mark to being monetized and viewing time. And we just need 15 more subscribers to hit 1,000.
We should have like a bring a buddy night.
Yeah.
BYOB, bring your own buddy.
Bring your own buddy with the booze.
Yes, BYOBB.
Yeah.
Okay, bring your own booze and your buddy, and make it a friend date night on Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe not this Friday since we're going to be streaming from a hotel, but or you can join us while we're in Gatlinburg, and we'll tell you all about it.
Cool. I mean, we might be able to be like, and that's one thing is I promise you, if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and maybe even MeWe, I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, let me get that out. MeWe. Make sure you get over to MeWe. We're already up to 900 followers in MeWe, and we've done nothing to do that over there. So that's great.
Shows you the power of suppression on Facebook and YouTube.
It shows you that we had to fight tooth and nail on Facebook to get anywhere, and just by existing, we've got 900 followers on MeWe. Sounds great. If I can sell and get moved up there too, got to wait for the eminent domain project to finish up. Oh boy, that's a tough one with an eminent domain project. So I mean, we're super excited. We're gonna bring it to you there. We'll show you there because again, you guys are like family. So I'm gonna pray us out right now. And
BYOBB is a hit, by the way. We'll do it.
BYOBB. All right.
BYOBB.
We're gonna start putting that out. And if you want to be in the group, if you're a subscriber, just say you're a subscriber when you fill out the thing.
So search on Facebook for the Patriot Crusader Mission group.
Yeah.
And then ask to join.
Yeah, Patriot Crusader Mission group, ask to join. It'll ask you if you're a subscriber. You'll say yes, and then you can get in there and do the Bible readings with us and do the small group with us because we'd love to do that. And we do it with cameras and we see each other on, whatever.
So, Brandy, the preferred media right now is YouTube to get that single channel monetized, but you can also at the same time go over to MeWe. I'm not sure what the MeWe monetization.
There is no monetization over MeWe. It's literally that's not their model.
Yeah, so it's just kind of getting ahead of the curve. MeWe is just a community.
If Facebook says, "Oh my God, you said this," and they kill us, we'll be at MeWe and at our website, which we're getting done this week. Promise.
Yes.
If we don't, talk to this woman right here.
Did we mention that it was my birthday this week?
It is your birthday. Oh, man. That's how I want it. All right, so I'm going to pray us out, guys. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you now, Lord. We still have a heavy heart from this election. We know that this is all your plan, Lord, that you know everything that's going to happen, everything that ever will happen. And we trust in you, Lord. We ask that you use us, Lord, that you take each and every one of our testimonies, every one of our life journeys, and everywhere that we're going, and that you use us for the furtherance of your kingdom here in heaven, Lord. And we ask that, that you protect everybody in this group, that you bring peace to them and protect their families, Lord. We ask that you also protect our nation. It is a sinful nation that needs to come to you, Lord. It is broken right now, and we pray for a great revival where everybody would come back to you, Lord, and make this truly a nation under God. I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Happy Monday.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Carol and Lou. Hi, Carol and Lou.
Carol and Lou, good to see you.